Tribal Health and Human Services Department of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai Tribes is proud to present Good Medicine, a program dedicated to the wellness of the Flathead Nation. The mission is summarized quite simply: a healthier people, a stronger nation. We will strive to make good medicine a reliable source of ideas and information about health issues so that everyone can make informed decisions about their own lifestyle and health care. You will meet health professionals, tribal government and spiritual leaders, and interesting people from the tribal community discussing important health issues that profoundly affect us all.
Hi, I'm Larry Pitts. I'm the host of Good Medicine. Today we have three more distinguished guests. It seems like I have all females on my program. It's not planned, but it works out well for me. You guys are part of the Head Start Special Needs Summer Program. And next to me right here is Rosalyn Rohfleisch. Fleisch, there we go. She's a health coordinator. We got Cindy O'Dell. She's our special service teacher coordinator / coordinator. And we have Mary Callahan, the speech / language pathologist. And during the regular year, you work at St. Ignatius. And ladies, thank you for being on today.
Thank you.
And,
thank you for inviting us, Larry.
Why don't you yell at that camera right over there? And Roy, tell somebody hello.
Hello. Hello, Roy.
Hello, Roy. All right.
Hey.
Cindy, you got anybody you want to say hello to?
No.
How about Mary?
I'll say hi to my kids. Hi, kids.
And I'll say hello to my kids that never watch the program, but hi, kids, anyway. All right, ladies. Let's get started with our program. Special Needs Summer Program. Roy, let's start with you since you're the health coordinator. What is the purpose of a summer program like this?
Well, Larry, the purpose of this program is to serve children with special needs. Mm-hmm. And in most cases, that means children who have professionally diagnosed disabilities. Mm-hmm. But in other cases, it may mean a child who needs a little extra boost before kindergarten. So it's an overall enrichment type of program with lots of stimulation. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, we want to maintain the progress the child has made during the previous school year and not lose any ground during the summertime. Okay. And that's particularly important as it relates to children with IEPs, which would be individual education plans.
Okay, now you said continuing the progress that was made earlier. So that means that this problem has been diagnosed, or this condition has been diagnosed earlier, and you're just continuing, or do you actually diagnose in this period of time?
Well, in most cases, the children come to us with already diagnosed conditions. Mm-hmm. But we also do some screenings during the summer program, some evaluations, and so that also is part of the program. We do provide those services. Okay,
so you're just continuing on what you do the rest of the year, basically.
Yes, that's very true.
But you do in the summertime. That's why we call it a summer needs program.
Right.
All right. Hey, you guys are quick. So, Mary, what kind of things do you focus on in the program?
Well, we're trying to help the kids increase their overall verbal language. Mm-hmm. So trying to get them to say more, to talk to us some more. We're trying to increase overall development, physical development, trying to help them get better at running, walking, climbing, all those kinds of things.
But you yourself, I mean, you don't do much with running and crawling since you're a speech specialist.
Well, with these kids, everything is so mixed together that we may be doing verbal expression at the same time we're climbing up something. So it's too hard to separate those kinds of things with these little guys. Okay,
so you guys have gotten better. Like we said before the tape started, that when I was growing up, they made me go to polls and go la, 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 and try to touch my nose with my tongue.
More of what we do is related to what the kids are involved in doing at the time. We're not going to sit there and practice la 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 or without it being connected to something important.
All right. Well, the improvements are just fascinating when you see what happens, and it's really rewarding, I imagine. Cindy, what kind of things do you focus on in your part of the program?
Well, like Mary said, it all kind of ties together. Mm-hmm. So we're just looking at enhancing their overall development, mm-hmm. and we want to do that by providing a real fun and stimulating environment, mm-hmm. and also by providing lots of positive interactions with well-trained teachers. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, I know the Head Start program is always considered one of the better programs on the reservation, and I like coming down and visiting because you always have the little toys that I can play with, and you know,
age appropriate for you.
Oh, very
too.
much so. Very much so. You know, I mean, we know that I'm my wife's biggest kid. And but that's good. I mean, that kind of stimulation is really awesome. Roy, let's go back to you right now. What do you serve and how? Who do you serve and how?
We serve mainly 3 to 5-year-olds in the summer program, special needs program. We've had these programs for, I believe, close to 20 years now, and feel very fortunate that we're able to do this. Sometimes we have to reserve a little funding from other places, and we're just very happy we can do it because there are very few other programs or agencies in the area that provide these kinds of services to children in the summertime.
You know, I work for Tribal Health, I work for the fitness department, and I know the equipment that we received up in St. Ignatius came through Head Start.
Yes, that's true. Because for one thing, we really do emphasize parent involvement in our program, and that would be mostly part of the parent involvement part of our program, that we would want our parents to be able to use the fitness centers.
And, and I see it working very well. I like the coordination between the departments and the different programs. It's sort of cool to see. What dates are you involved with the children in the summertime right now?
The children started on June 24th, and they are attending through July 31st, 4 days a week and 3 hours a day.
Okay. And so if somebody wants to get involved in this program, who would they call?
Too late.
Too late.
Too late.
Okay.
But they certainly could call 676-4509 for the fall program if they haven't already completed an application.
Okay.
The children will be starting to attend in late September, and we at this time are doing the selection process. So anyone who would be interested in applying to get their child into the program in the fall could do so by calling 676-4509 or stopping by our office at 26 Round Butte Road West in Ronan.
Okay. Want to hit those one more time and slow so that people can catch those out there?
Okay. 676-4509 is our phone number, and our address is 26 Round Butte Road West, which is behind the Dairy Queen in Ronan.
That's right, straight west of the Dairy Queen.
Correct.
Okay. How long have you worked for the program?
I've worked for the program 17 years.
17 years. So you've gone through some different directors in the program? And
No, actually I have not. We have the same director we had 17 years ago, and that is Jeannie Christopher.
Now, is that why the program works so well?
She has provided a lot of stability for the program.
As I look around, I see heads nodding like they're in agreement.
Are they in agreement?
Yeah, they're in agreement.
Good. That's
What do you think about the program, Cindy? How long you worked for it?
I've done some consulting with the program in the past, but I was officially hired in this position just this year.
Okay. Is it sort of exciting to see the direction the program is taking? I mean, as you look from coming from a consulting direction into becoming actively involved, on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, it is real exciting. It seems like there's more and more opportunities coming our way, and I think Head Start nationally is getting the recognition of the quality services that are being provided for children.
Where do you see yourself in 2 years in the program, down the road? I mean, in your segment of the program as a teacher coordinator, what do you see happening?
Boy, I don't know. I would like to see more expansion, I guess, for younger children. It seems like we get kids when they are 3 years old, but we know that development happens before they turn 3 years old, and so it would just be nice to be able to identify and serve children that are younger.
My son's 3, and we have a built-in, speech pathologist, my sister-in-law, Christine, and so I'm always checking, watching, and I see her as the auntie, but also as the therapist, watching and checking those things. I can see where it would work for younger. Mary, what would you, as a speech pathologist, what would you see as an ideal thing with these children at a younger age even?
At a younger age, the more stimulation the kids have early on, the more the language development grows, and so if there was more coordination between Head Start with the younger kids, because they're so good at involving parents, then they could help the parents and work at empowering the parents to help their kids grow some more. And that's where Head Start could really help those younger kids. Not necessarily bringing them into a program and separating them from their parents, but encouraging the parents.
As a family unit, basically,
Right.
is what you're saying. Is,
Right.
That really sounds strong and powerful, and I see that as a vision for the future. As you know, we sort of drifted from this format we had right here.
Really?
Well, I like to do that because as I see 3 powerful women here right now who have a lot of concern and care for people. And so let's build on that right now. How do we start to bring that in? I mean, how do we get parents more involved? Roy?
We have all kinds of ways of getting parents involved, and from day one we let them know that they are welcome in the classroom at any time, and we encourage them to come into the classroom. Sometimes they may at first just come in and have a meal with the kids, and as they become more comfortable, many of them will spend a lot more time in the classroom. And a lot of them will volunteer when we need extra help. When one of our regular staff members is not going to be there, we have parents who come in and do a lot of volunteering. Lolita Hendrickson is our parent involvement coordinator.
Had her on last week.
Right. And you mean she didn't want to be on 2 weeks in a row?
Well, she did, but I couldn't handle her.
Oh, okay, okay.
Joke Lolita.
She does. We have parent meetings every month at all the centers, and Lolita comes up with some real interesting activities for the parents to do. We try to recognize parents whenever possible. I try to send out health awards to parents when they have followed up on different health services types of things like dental treatment. And can you think of any other ways that we
Well, I think
involve
we just
parents?
really want to communicate to parents that they are the primary educators of their children, and that what we do supports that and enhances that we're not a replacement for what parents can do with their children. And I think that attitude is really communicated to parents.
You're not trying to enable them. In fact, you're trying to pull them in. So what I'm hearing from you saying is you cherish volunteer.
Oh, absolutely.
No one can actually volunteer too much, can they?
No, no.
All right.
And that actually turns into dollars as part of the in-kind contributions to our program.
Really? So that's neat. That's really neat. What is your daily schedule? Let's start with Cindy.
All right, we go from 9:30 to 12:30 with children, and we start with a breakfast snack, and kids come in and eat.
Oh, baby, it sounds
perfect.
good. It sounds good for me. How do I enroll?
Well, come on down.
And then we have a circle activity for the children, focusing on language development. And then we do a small group activity after circles so that we can focus on individual goals of the children. Then we have a self-selective time where the children can choose which learning center that they would like to play at, and the materials that they would like to play with. Hello.
My phone. That was off.
All right, after self-selective activities, then the kids go outdoors, and we have a real nice outdoor time with the kids right now with the weather being nice, and it's a great time for kids to learn and be able to just have fun outdoors. Then we have another circle time, and that's purpose of the second circle time is just a regrouping and coming together and talking about what they've done throughout the day. And then we have lunch, and then the children go home.
So what do you do in the afternoon? Just sit back and rest, or?
Yeah, we have cots at the center that they can take naps in the
So all the
afternoon.
teachers can take a break.
That's right. Actually, is that when you guys staff and that kind of stuff?
And this summer, there's even more than that going on with some new people being part of their training being in the summer program, and after the children leave, they get together and talk about the day and et cetera.
Right.
Well, the thing I just heard Cindy mentioning was there's a lot of choice. And it looks like you're building some really positive skills on how to plan out certain things and make vision and goals, which is part of success in life. Mary, as a speech pathologist, is that helpful in speech pathology?
Oh, very much. It's really great to have the kids have the opportunity to say, I would like to play with the blocks, or invite a child to come and play with them, and to choose an area in which they want to interact. If it's our choice, we're going to be more willing to be more verbal about what's going on. So that's a great setup for the kids.
Okay. What services are provided, Roy?
First of all, we provide transportation, which sometimes can get to be kind of a complicated thing. We feel we do very well, though, in that area. We serve the meals, as Cindy had mentioned, and these are provided through the summer feeding program, which our program has inherited this summer.
Yes. And you're doing a good job. I mean, I see the
thank you.
buses running all over the place already.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, we provide some screenings, developmental and some health screenings. This summer we're providing some vision screenings and also a few hearing screenings that we're going to be talking about sometime soon. All the children have to have a physical examination before they start in the program. And also some evaluations like occupational therapy, physical therapy type evaluations are provided when needed. But we do not ever do those kinds of evaluations without parents' permission.
Now, is that all in-house, or do you bring the practitioners from the outside in?
We bring some in, and would you like to talk a little more about that, Cindy?
Right. Sometimes we, we had a situation this summer where we had a little boy who had some fine motor needs, so we were able to bring a therapist in, and we coordinated that with the public school. So I think there's just a lot of agency coordination going on that's really important, because when agencies are working together, I think you'll find that services are better provided for children.
Well, the network is so important because, as you said, this is a summer program. Now, when the kids go back to the regular program, if you aren't able to convey what has happened in the summer, you start the whole wheel back over again instead of continuing the progress.
Exactly.
Right.
And one service we didn't talk about yet, but Mary wanted to expand on, was the speech and language services. And we just feel very fortunate to have her working in the summer program.
Actually, Roy just jumped to the next question, but that's okay.
No, that's part of this one.
Go ahead, Mary,
Okay.
hit us
Well,
with that.
and during the regular school year, I work for the Mission School District.
Setting nations, as most people know
Right.
it.
And, but I also serve the Head Start kids, because that's part of our responsibility too as a school district, to serve the kids 3 years old and older. So I coordinate with Head Start in St. Ignatius. And then they asked me to work the summer program and provide speech therapy services. So any kids that we're concerned about, we can coordinate with the parents and provide a speech and language evaluation. And then there are kids that already had IEPs in place, so we took the information from the public schools and were able to continue with what they were working on and continue through the summer. Then we'll give them information so they can just keep going with and continue with what we were doing this summer.
Now, you said IEP?
Individual Education Program.
There are people out there who didn't know what that meant, that to get that professional jargon, they're saying, what'd that mean?
Yeah, right.
IEP.
Well, but that's important,
Right.
and it's such an important tool because, growing up, having a small speech impediment, it was tough. When you get tongue-tied or whatever, this kind of stuff, and other kids are cruel that way sometimes. And so, what a valuable gift to allow the freedom, freedom of speech is a wonderful way to go. What is the curriculum to you, Cindy?
We're trying out a webbing curriculum this summer, and that is
As a duck, you would probably understand that.
That's right. Or a spider.
the WEB curriculum. No.
Either one.
All right.
And what it is where we take a particular topic and we branch off into all different ideas and do brainstorming about that particular topic and everything that we would like to teach children about that topic. And so we started with sort of a Western theme, and we brainstormed all the things we would like to teach the kids about the Western and the rodeos and cowboys and cowgirls and all those kinds of things. And then we went into a sort of a camping unit where we talked about, one of the things you can do when you ride your horse is you can go camping, and now we're into the forest. And this week in particular, we're talking about insects and bugs. And next week, we're going to talk about
Mosquito
bears.
repellent.
Oh, yeah, lots of that. It's been a bad year for that. So, yeah, and then we're going to talk about bears in the next couple weeks, and that's how.
So you have
doing it.
basically 4 or 5 categories that you spin off and into, and you web around, as you would say. And
Right, and the
what's the
information
purpose
builds.
of that, though? I mean, it sounds interesting and neat, but what's the purpose of that?
The purpose is that because children learn best when they can make connections between information that's given to them. It's not like one week you're studying something and the next week you're studying something totally different, where they can see the connections that you're making. So, they could see the connection between the Western and then the camping and then into the forest. And you can make comparisons for children, and that's another way that they learn. So we can make comparisons between, say, a tame animal like a horse or a cow, and then wild animals that live in the forest. And you can draw those comparisons.
Okay, I just had a bad thought. I won't say that. Okay.
Okay.
By the way, that's how do you, not how to you.
Well, that's great. I was looking at this guy. I
I
started
started getting the giggles about that. Okay.
How do you coordinate other services with the other agencies?
Well, for one thing, we have some classes that are being taught right now that we're getting credit for through the Salish Kootenai College. So that's some coordination with the college.
Who do you coordinate with up there?
I believe it's,
Alice Shamrock?
Okay.
right. Thank you, Cindy. And we coordinate, well, the summer feeding program is something, as I mentioned earlier, that we've inherited this summer. And so I don't know if we coordinate with the summer feeding program or not, because we're doing the summer feeding program. So maybe we're coordinating with ourselves.
Well, that's important.
Right.
So your right hand knows what the left hand's doing.
That's right. That's very important. And then there's the Western Montana Comprehensive Developmental Center in Missoula, who refer children to us, and during the summer program, one of their family services workers or home trainers has come to the program to observe one of the children that she's been working with.
Now, who would they refer? Students of the college, maybe, or?
They refer children to the program that
right.
they have diagnosed as
Right.
having special needs.
Right. They do comprehensive evaluations on preschool-age children, and then they refer these children with special needs to our program.
So if somebody's out there watching this program and maybe it's a grandmother who knows that their grandchild who lives in Missoula needs some special needs, they could get hold of the program?
They could get a hold of CDC, the Comprehensive Developmental Center.
Right. Okay.
And that's not just for the kids in Missoula. CDC serves kids up here too.
Right.
So,
Right.
Okay.
so anybody who has concerns about a child, if you can't get a hold of public school personnel or if your child is real young, you can contact CDC. And they'll help coordinate some services. And they're real good at working.
And what does CDC stand for again for people?
Comprehensive Development Center.
Okay. Okay.
And we refer children down to them, too. So it's just a nice relationship.
Right, and they're not sending children in Missoula, you know, that's just off the street up here. It's
Right.
people who have
People
the
up
contact
here.
that are tribal and
Right.
this type of
Right.
thing, right?
Yes, and we make more referrals there as a result of the fact that the tribal health department is not any longer doing the developmental assessment clinics.
Okay, when did that stop?
I believe about a year ago.
The last one in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How do parents become involved in this whole process? How do we bring them together? Mary?
Well, the first thing that we do when the program starts is the parents come in and sign their children up. It's not they don't come in and pick up paperwork and then send it back in without any personal contact. They need to come in and visit with the teachers, and we talk about their child, any needs that they have, anything that they would like to see us do for their children in particular. So we start out by opening the communication with the parents. We invite them to come in at any time. There was a family rodeo that happened last Friday for the families to come in and see the kinds of activities we do with the kids, and parents got to make hat bands and do all kinds of the activities that the children get to do.
Who was the bucking stock?
I think it was square bale with
We do bike rodeo.
with some old horns.
We do bike rodeos at the fitness centers, you know, and I always get this envisionment of seeing, you know, you putting a bicycle in a rodeo chute and opening the gate and you bucking out, you know, it's really scary. How many teachers and teacher aides are involved in this whole process, Cindy?
Let's see, Kathy Smith and Phyllis Haynes are our two teachers that we
Okay.
have working in the summer program. And then we have a cook, Juanita Butler, and Amanda Pion is our teacher aide. Then we also have 3 teachers coming in for training, and so every 2 weeks we have a different set of 3 teachers, if that makes sense. And so we've got a pretty good sized staff. We have 21 children right now, and so it's a good student-child ratio, or student-teacher ratio right now.
Well, and as I've been doing a series of Head Start programs, and I'm starting to get an idea of what you guys are doing, and it's a large staff.
It is.
It is.
And we have an excellent
Growing every day.
Do you see that as a way of the future for Head Start, as far as touching the children on this reservation and then eventually the adults? I mean, you touch the children, they become adults someday, hopefully. Do you see that helping change things, Roy?
Research has shown that there is quite there's something to be said for this early intervention. And I'm not sure what else to say right now.
Okay. Early intervention. Let's go to Mary. You're in the public school system, and now you're working, you know, in the Head Start position, for the summertime. How do you see this, funneling towards, more productive adults?
Well, I can see it as we prepare the kids a little bit better for starting school. If children start school without their speech sounds, it makes it more difficult for them to learn to read. I mean, there are kids coming to kindergarten who look at the squiggles on the wall and say, okay, the sound I say goes with that squiggle. Well, we have kids that come in who can't say that sound, so they're already behind. So when we provide the services for them before school starts, then we get them that extra boost before school starts. So then it helps build their confidence, and they're ready to start to read and write. And the demands on the kids in school are getting higher and higher all the time. As adults, we're seeing that with the kids, and so we're trying to help get them ready for school. It's It's really rewarding to see what Head Start does with the language stimulation too. We don't look at that so often. I think we hear kids that maybe are missing a sound or two when they're talking, but also they need increased vocabulary. They need to understand directions and be able to follow things that are going on. So all of those activities that are going on at Head Start are helping those kids develop their vocabulary and their language development too.
Are there any studies out that show the kids are in Head Start compared to the ones who aren't in Head Start, how they do when they enter school? Roy?
There are some, yes, I have seen some studies. Right now, I can't remember exactly what the details were of those studies, though, Larry.
Right. Well, pulling it off the top of your head is a little tough. Cindy,
Yeah.
have you seen those studies? I mean,
Yeah, they're out there, and I couldn't quote like the
Yeah,
exact study,
I'm
but that's what keeps the funding for Head Start going nationally, is that there are continued research studies going on that continue to say that the earlier and the better the intervention, that
well,
later services.
well, the kids who need intervention, I mean, who need that process, I mean, if they're behind right now when they go into school, it's a tough place to try to catch up is in school.
Exactly.
Exactly, and if you can help their self-concept and their social skills, that is such an important thing for these young kids.
What type of training are you providing in the center, Cindy?
We have quite a bit of training going on this summer. We wanted to take advantage of doing as much training as possible, and we just hired, some new teachers. So we had, we started with what we called Head Start 101, and that was just a basic orientation of what Head Start is all about.
Oh, I took all those classes in college.
That's a great one. When I talked about the webbing curriculum, we're teaching a class just on doing that, and doing that with the teachers. We had a seminar on language development, and Mary did a session with Christine Pitts, and that was how to talk with children, not at them. We have had training on home visits. We did home visits this year for all the children who have not been in Head Start before, where we go in and meet the children before they come to school, which is great because then they have already met you. And
You bet.
we did training on room arrangement. We did training that's called Love and Logic, and Love and Logic is a way of parenting and guiding children so that you're getting kids to do what you need them to do without threatening or spanking or any of those negative types of behavior management. We had a class on child development just this last week with Jan Roberts, and Jan Roberts also did training on normal sexual development of children.
All right. Well, ladies, we are running out of time. We're in our last minute here.
Really?
And so you want to hit really quickly, this is a summer program. It's going to be in the fall. Who do they get in touch and what number again?
Okay, it would be the same number that we mentioned earlier, 676-4509. If anyone is interested in having their child in our fall program, please call or stop by and pick up an application. We're in the selection process right now, so,
so
get those applications in.
So get on it. And so one last question, ladies, is do you travel as in threes all the time or by yourself? That's all we have time for. Ladies, I want to thank you, and people out there, I want to thank you for watching the program, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much, and bye.
Good Medicine is your program. We hope you watch this and subsequent programs to stay informed about your health care, and we'd like to hear from you about how we're doing. Please direct any comments or suggestions you have to us. You can reach us at